I just watched the Superman movie, and overall I think it's a great movie. The pre-release for this movie was crazy. Like, there was a lot going against this movie. There was even some controversies. Even Moist Critical talked about it, but overall it's a great film. I'm not going to talk about any of the controversies here, just going to talk about the movie. Here's a quick plot synopsis. The movie opens with Superman getting beaten. You know that trailer shot where he falls onto Antarctica, beaten up? Yeah, that's the opening shot. But before that, there was a text that gave us whatever was going on beforehand. So basically, a country called Barovia that is being ruled by a dictator takes over another country, and Superman went to stop that invasion. Now, why did he stop that invasion? Because it will kill a lot of people. So he went there to prevent any deaths and prevent any injuries, and he succeeded. But the problem with that is that now there's another character called the Hammer of Barovia that's wreaking havoc in Metropolis, and Superman gets his ass beaten by him, and he caused a lot of damage, and this has put Superman under a lot of fire for involving himself in the foreign affairs, and therefore bringing that foreign affairs into his home country and causing that trouble here as well. And this movie has a lot to do with social media and the narrative war, which I will be discussing later. Nicholas Hoult, bro, the actor playing Lex Luthor, I have to say he did an amazing job. Every single scene he was in shows how much he hated Superman, and he did an incredible job at that. He is like the biggest hater ever. Lex Luthor uses the narrative war with social media to turn the public against Superman. So this is like a superhero movie, but in the modern world, in the modern day, where you can easily turn social media against this person or something with all the misinformation and all that. It's an interesting take, I'll give them that. I thought it was a great take, it was very fresh, and I can see some people not liking this as it can feel kind of campy and silly, and some people don't like that kind of comedy. They want a more serious take, so I can respect it if people don't like it, but personally I really like this. So now the whole world is against Superman, and yeah, the movie goes on from there. Let's talk about it. Here's what I really like first and foremost, the acting. Let me talk about the acting first. The acting throughout the cast was great. David Corenswet really embodies this character of Superman really well. And as I mentioned earlier, Nicholas Hoult, who plays Lex Luthor, great job, amazing job. Lois Lane, played by Rachel Brosnahan, was great, and all the other characters, the side characters, Guy Gardner, Hawk Girl, and Mr. Terrific were great. Especially Mr. Terrific, he had a lot of time to shine, and I thought he did an incredible job. There were also a few cameos here that really surprised me. James Gunn did an incredible job with the directing of the movie as well. The movie is visually colorful, and some scenes even felt like I'm reading a superhero comic book, so it feels like a Superman comic book leapt out of a comic book page. I really like the color palette he was going with, the red, blue and yellow. You can see it throughout the film. It is just great. I really loved it. It's a more colorful and optimistic take of Superman, and a more hopeful one as well, which is what we have been asking for a very long time. No disrespect to Man of Steel. I really like that movie, but it did feel very nihilistic and a bit depressing with the very desaturated look that movie had, and also because it lacked vibrance. Whereas this movie was very colorful and it felt just more optimistic. That movie felt a bit nihilistic. So this is a great take, and the movie is actually fairly simple. It's not trying to deconstruct the hero archetype or create a morally grey world or anything like that. There's a clear good guy and a clear bad guy, and the good guy beats the bad guy kind of story, and I like that. Like, I've said this in my F1 movie review, we need simple stories like this more often. We don't need stories that deconstruct the hero or whatever nonsense like that. Those kind of stories have their place in cinema, but that doesn't mean you give up on this kind of good versus evil kind of stories. And this movie is just that, good versus evil in a more modern take, and I really liked seeing that. And some people will complain this is very cliche. I've seen this like 1,000 times. The story is way too predictable, but that's what a Superman movie should be like. And I can bet with you 100% way more people will praise this rather than criticize it. The action scenes were fantastic in this movie, especially the fight sequence and all that. And Mr. Terrific, like I mentioned, is probably the best side characters we saw. He had a lot of screen time and he did an incredible job. I can't wait to see more of him in the future. And I really hope this movie succeeds and kicks off the DCU and we get to see more projects. Crypto was great as well, and basically just great stuff overall. Here comes my drawbacks. I do think there are some flaws here. First and foremost, the movie can feel a bit messy. And that's because the flow of events, the trajectory of where it's going, the destination doesn't feel like it's going in a clear route. I feel that it's jumping here and jumping there a bit too much, but this is just a minor qualm. The editing sometimes can be abysmal and it affects the pacing of the movie at certain scenes, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. The visual effects need some work, especially on Hawk Girl. I feel that seeing her flying scene sometimes it doesn't look really that great. I feel that it can improve. But these are all just minor issues. To sum it all up, I would say this is a very entertaining and fun, campy movie. It doesn't take itself too seriously. It knows what it's going for and it knows what it is and it delivers. And I really like that about this film. It does have its flaws and its issues like I mentioned earlier, but overall it's a fun movie. Definitely go watch it in the cinemas. It's the kind of Superman movie we have been hoping for to get for years. A long time ago, I made a video about how I had my reservations with James Gunn and this universe that he's going to build. I said it was confusing and stuff like that, but this movie really assuages some of those reservations I had, and now I'm more hopeful to see what's next in store for us. That's my review. If you like this video, click the like button. If you want to see more, subscribe to my channel. See you guys next time. You guys are always the best.